Warning, this podcast may cause excessive dad jokes, sudden bursts of motivation, and the irresistible urge to high-five yourself.
Welcome to the Daddius Project, where we help dads master the biggest and messiest project of your life, Dadhood.
I'm Scott Batcher, recovering perfectionist, dad of one teenage girl, and a guy who once didn't sleep for 6 months straight.
And I'm Evan Hill, professional chaos coordinator, dad of 3 teenagers, and living proof that duct tape can fix a sippy cup temporarily.
Each week, we'll hit you with real talk, dad hacks, and the kind of inspiration that doesn't require matching socks.
Ready to level up? Let's build this dad life together. All right, dads, we're back. 2026. Wow. 2025 gone already. Here we are, 2026. We really got to seize the day. Eh? Seize the day?
Seize the day.
You got to seize the day.
I'm gonna jump in here. I was messing around before Christmas with YouTube to see if we could go live, and I just pushed the button, and I think we're live on YouTube.
Oh, we're live. Yeah, we are. We're live right now.
Hey,
on YouTube. Our first time. Which we were trying so hard to do that, and here we are.
I didn't expect to do that. So I think what's happening, though, I was just telling Ev that I think we're live on my YouTube channel, not on Daddius. So we're just going to experiment with this and see what happens. And then, so I'll probably be uploading it to the Daddius channel of YouTube. But it's all fun and games. Life 2026 experimental year.
That's right. It's all about adventure. It's all about adventure, trying new things, saying yes to new things. But yeah, let's just real quick. What was a big win for you, 2025? Something that really stands out for you.
Just off the top of my head, I'm sure there were better wins than this, but just loving my golf and just slowly improving at it. Like that was a big one for me.
Yeah.
My hobbies are, as if you've listened to any episode, probably has been brought up, golf and mountain biking. And this year, actually, so not a 2025 win, getting back into my mountain biking, which is great. But last year was, just being consistent with that, with my health.
Good.
Sold property, made a lot of money. Yeah. That was a good win. That was a big win.
Yeah, big win. Financial move. I mean, you got, P6 is play, which you locked in with golf, a new passion. It's always nice. I think a lot of men go through this where they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not sure what I want to do, or it just maybe the thing that they used to do is not doing it anymore for whatever reason. So for you to find that's huge. That's huge.
How about you?
Okay. Yeah. And then prosperity, you knocked one out of the park there too. So
definitely.
For me, I would say, this one, I think it's actually, so it's a P3.
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 What's P2 is power. P3 is parenting.
So power, performance, passion.
Passion. P3, passion. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, passion.
Yep.
So passion, for listeners that don't know what the Daddius Project is about, it's about the 6 P's of Daddius, which are the pillars of creating an extraordinary life as a dad. And often we as dads, we can excel in 1, 2, 3 typically. And usually the other 3 are not great, and some are disaster. And it's kind of like putting a piece of tape over the oil light and just expecting things are just going to work out. And it just doesn't work out, whether it's the relationship falling apart, health falling apart, finances falling apart, not having fun anymore, feeling directionless and bored and or getting to this point where it doesn't seem like your kids like you, or you don't have that relationship with your kids. So there's all these things that can happen. And I was just talking about when Scott's talking about these wins, it's like he's got a substantial play win going there. which is about having fun. And then he's got a substantial prosperity win. And I remember going, we had conversations like about this throughout the year. So it's awesome. It's awesome when friends are winning.
Mm. I just heard on a different podcast, and I can't give a shout out because I can't remember which one it was. This guy was talking about I think it was a billionaire that he knew. So somebody who had, a phenomenal amount of success in prosperity, but they asked him, what is your definition of success? Or what is your definition of having a fulfilled life? And he said, well, I think it's if your adult kids still want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, huge. That's cool. That is huge.
That's a knock it out of the park parenting. That's a P5. P4?
4.
Jeez, we got to go through this again.
We should remember which P's are P's.
Yeah, but that's huge, where your kids want to spend time with you. Actually, on that note, so we rented our house. We live in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. A lot of people come here during the Christmas holidays. So there was a family that rented our house. So we designed our house this way that we could turnkey it and rent it and then go on vacation ourselves. And the renters basically paying for our vacation and more, which is great. And so we had a family, get this, a family from Germany come, and so it was a husband and wife with 4 kids between the ages of 20 and 28, and 2 of them brought their fiancés. So they had 10 or 8 total. Mm-hmm. They're from Germany, and they stayed here for 2 weeks. And I got to know them a little bit throughout. There's lots of conversations, and there was stuff that was going on that I'd take care of here. And I ended up meeting them at the end, and I was like, wow. I was, I just really went into this dad space with the other dad, and I'm like, you know what? Like, this is amazing. This is amazing. You had 4 kids that are between 20 and 28 here together with fiancés, and he went right into like what that was like navigating that relationship between his son and his son's fiance, and on 2 of them. So he's got like new dynamics in the mix here, and they're still having like a family Christmas. This is the first time that they'd ever had them together, and that was 2 weeks. And then it was so funny because I was saying like, yeah, you really inspired me, and then on the way out, he looks back and he says, well, you can make that happen, and that can be something that you write about in your next book. And he had I had 1 copy in the gym upstairs in the mezzanine, and you got to take a ladder to get up there. It's not easy to get there. So he was up there, and he saw the book and made a comment on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, getting back to my win for 2026, definitely in the passion area, or 2025 in the passion area. With my wife, we went through a lot of stress and transition. When you look at the most stressful things you could possibly be doing in your life or have happened to you, moving, would be one. Building a house would be one. Moving to a different country, on top of that, with different language. There's just so many stresses, and it really, it really challenged our relationship, and it's just been nice to like redevelop even a deeper understanding of each other and better communication and enjoying each other's time more because we have more time. So they're really grateful for that. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. How about any, we've talked about it in the past about the idea of New Year's resolutions and how they're, they kind of seem to be a bit of a thing of the past, but any thoughts on any goals or visions or projects moving forward for 2026?
I've got a whole list. So I know it's cliche, the whole like New Year's resolution thing. And I think a lot of people have just kind of like given up in doing that because it's just kind of lost its luster, let's say. Like not many people ask anymore, what's New Year's resolution that you've got? Like it used to be a thing. I
Yeah,
remember it being a thing.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
nobody talks about it even, lad. And on social media, I don't think I saw anybody like doing New Year's resolution anything.
I
Did
think it's
you?
a shame. No, no, I think it's a shame
Yeah,
too. I think
totally,
I
totally.
I think a big part, hey, your gain might be up again. You're pretty staticky there. If you want to try and play with that a
I
bit.
can,
Um,
sure.
I think unfortunately, I think people have just lost out on the idea of goals. Like I think they just feel that, oh, if I make a New Year's resolution, I pretty much know I'm not going to achieve it. So why bother? I think that's where we've gone. Like people have given up on their goals, given up on their visions, their ambitions, and again, this is, I'm just talking very general here, but I believe that's probably why the whole New Year's resolution thing is kind of faded out, because people don't believe in themselves to set a goal and go and achieve it.
Well, if I look back at, what I left in Canada and the way it's been going, people are feeling pretty beaten up.
Mm.
Like cost of living increasing dramatically, cost of housing, like taxes, like it's just, and then there, it's difficult. And I think a lot of people are just feeling beaten up, feeling tired. And I get it. I get it. It's there's a lot going on. It's not just in Canada, United States and Europe, all over. I don't know about your place there in Australia, but yeah, people are feeling it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if we break it down from the P6, right? Like, again, we wrote this for dads, but it's really applicable to anybody. Power's the big one. And if you don't have that vision, purpose, mission in the background, kind of running its sort of a virus check in the background, then viruses invade. And the viruses right now are, well, our health is worse than it's ever been. There's no doubt about that. And the money situation is rough, right? Like a lot of people really did well during COVID. Actually, it was really it was a weird time. There was this little blip of negative, and then boom, everything took off. But right now, the cost of living is skyrocketed. I think that's worldwide.
Yep.
And then how much stress does that put on the situation? And then I
Yep.
think money and kids are the top two issues with marriage. So there's your passion, there's your parenting, there's your prosperity, and then because you're working so hard on those things, or stressed out so much about those things, then your play goes to shit too.
Yep.
So
Yeah, exactly.
it's all connected.
It's all connected. Yeah, and that's why we encourage people to get the book, because um, it is all connected. It all needs to be looked at, and it's key, And for me, I looked at all 6 P's, all 6 pillars, and it's like, what do I want to do in this area? And like getting back to that New Year's resolutions thing, and be curious of what our listeners are doing in this realm. Like by the time we get this out, it's probably going to be third week of January.
Well, remember, we're live somewhere. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, we're live right now. So this is
maybe. I don't know.
We're
We'll find out.
We're 2 weeks in. It's not too late. Let's put it that way. It's not too late to do New Year's resolutions. Right now, we still have 11 and a half months. And what's 2026 going to look like? Is it going to be determined by other people, or are we going to like sit in the driver's seat and make this happen? And I think setting goals in all 6 of the pillars is really important. Is really important. And the other thing that I want to say is that I think a lot of people don't know how to really set goals. Okay, so I'll explain. For example, like if someone's to say like, yeah, my goal for 2026 is to lose 10 pounds. Okay. But like if I was like losing or gaining 10 pounds for me is absolutely not exciting. Okay. But it's not because I'm where I'm at with my body weight. It's because the goal itself needs to have an energy and a why behind it. Like, why do you want to Why do you want to lose 10 pounds? And it's the why that is the power around the goal. And if you don't have a why behind your goals, and this is a big reason why I think a lot of people, they set goals and they don't follow through with them because they don't have the why behind it. And the why, when you have a why that is worthy because you desire it. Like, you got to be really real with yourself. Like, what do I actually want? Do I want to look good so I can be more attractive and have more sex? Or something like that. Okay, that might be what somebody quotes in their mind, and that's like enough for them to be like, I miss that in my life, and I want that in my life, and it's worth putting in the work. So that's the desire part of setting goals, but not all people respond well, or not all people can tie their goal to a desire necessarily. Sometimes it has to be from the other side, which is afraid of something happening. And fear can be a great driver for getting stuff done. Like when you have your back against the wall and you're going to go effing bankrupt or divorced or whatever it is, that fear can really drive somebody into action. And so
I used to have a fear of hurdles, but I worked hard and I got over it.
Nice. That's so good. My dad joke is so bad. So bad.
Well, mine are good. Mine are good this time. Like I've got 4 coming, or
really
4 in total. That's
so
one.
Bad. I told my New Year's resolution joke to January, but February thought it was too late.
February thought it was too late, or too early. Too late. Too early.
I think it should be too early.
Too early. Yeah.
Well, no, actually, no. Too late made sense.
Does it?
The whole joke sucks. It's terrible.
Let's just be honest here.
That's awful. So that's the best you got. Oh my god.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty awful. That's pretty.
So getting back to getting back to goal setting, and so, for example, I want to lose 10 pounds because I want to stay healthy so I don't die before my grandchildren are born. Like, that can be something that people are afraid of, is dying. And sometimes when it comes to health, it's enough. When people go to the doctor and the doctor says, listen, these tests are really bad. You keep doing this, you're going to die. Then all of a sudden the person's like, oh, okay. And they start like, but we don't need to get to that point. We can just create it in our mind. Like, I want to be healthy so I live longer. Like, it can start on the negative, like I don't want to die, but it can be, you can flip it to the positive, but still attach it to something that you really desire or something that you really don't want.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one because I feel that when it comes to the fear situation, it's we talk about it in the book a bit, the difference between, like, motivation is like the kindling. And fear works, I believe, a little bit like motivation, because when you have a health scare, it could be fearful. Like, I had a client in yesterday, I think it was, and somehow the conversation came up to do with health. And he said, yeah, my two brothers or brother-in-laws or whatever it is. There goes my dog going crazy. You could probably hear that. My 2 brothers or brothers-in-law, they both had heart attacks. And they went on this health kick for like 3 months. And now they're back to doing everything that they were doing before. Right? So the fear is a beginning phase, but I don't think it keeps people going.
Yeah, definitely the desire part, I think, is stronger. Something that really moves you that you want to walk into, like walking into the light of something that's really desirable. I think it's a better place to put our focus than the fear side. But definitely,
Fear can start things out for
can
sure.
get things going for sure. Yeah. And I think the idea is like to eventually flip that. So it's like, okay, I'm out of that really shitty situation. Now what do I want to create in my life? You know, if it's like, I don't want to get kicked out of my apartment and be homeless. Okay. That could be the initial, but then you get to that point where you're in pretty good shape now. And it's like, I want to move into a house. So yeah.
I think it's very, very overlooked, the idea of habits. Like it's been a big thing in my sphere of influence in my own life in the last, I'll say year, maybe 18 months, and just looking at this idea of small things done consistently make a bigger impact than anything. And that's where I think, again, New Year's resolutions fall apart, because you know, you're talking 10 pounds for Aussies. That's like 3 kilos. Like that is one, not really big enough of a goal. Like that's not really going to change anyone's life trajectory anyway. But if you need to lose 50 pounds, 100 pounds, that's like 30, 40, 50 kilos. That could be life changing. But that's such a huge goal that it's overwhelming. And then people go, my God, I'm never going to reach that. And so Tony Robbins talks about it, we greatly overestimate what we can do in a certain period of time, like, for example, a 10-year period, and then greatly underestimate what we can do in a short time period. Or is it the opposite?
That's the other way
I can't
around.
remember. Is it the other way around?
Yeah.
It is the other way around, yes.
We overestimate what we can accomplish in a day, and we underestimate what we can accomplish in a year, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so for somebody who has a bigger health goal, like a significant weight loss, it can definitely be overwhelming. And the potential is that person right now is doing nothing when it comes to their habits. And right, so 2 habits you could adopt is go for a walk every day. That's it. Just go for a walk. And 10-minute walk. And then when that 10-minute walk feels easier, then you can increase it, but don't go further than that in your mindset right now. It's like, oh my God, I'm never going to lose weight doing 10-minute walk a day. But if you're doing nothing, a 10-minute walk a day is dramatic. And from our Christmas episode, if you remember, a 10-minute walk after a meal decreases that insulin sensitivity by up to 40%. So the sugar doesn't get stored as fat in the muscles. So just adding those 2 together, every time you have your biggest meal of the day, do a 10-minute walk. Boom. And then as far as nutrition, add good stuff. Don't think about taking away all your Twinkies and your this and that. It's like, okay, if I have a big salad, then I'm still allowed to have my Twinkies.
Exactly.
Because one, you're going to feel more full, so you'll have less Twinkies. And eventually you'll be like, this salad was really good. I'm actually not hungry anymore. Right? Small changes.
That's right.
If they're small, you've got to do them regularly. It's the difference between brushing your teeth every day and go to the dentist every 6 months for a cleaning.
Yeah. It's like focus on one win in that area daily. Like, move the needle slightly every single day. You got to be able to say, I did this one action to support that particular goal today. And it doesn't have to be massive, like Scott said. It can be, it can be adding that one thing in that you didn't do previously that day and still have the Twinkie. But eventually it might be that you decide to reduce the Twinkie, and that can be a win for that day. But you could do a lot of other things too. And I think this is a great, so many people, they get all, I should have done this. They get down on themselves. They shame themselves. Like, I suck. I did it again.
Oops, I did it again. Who is that?
Britney Spears.
Who? Britney Spears. There you go.
Britney Spears. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. They get so down on themselves and shame themselves. And then they basically just beat themselves up for a little while. And then eventually it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. It just feels like shit because I'm just beating myself up for failing because I can't quit everything that I said I needed to quit and the way I thought it needed to be. And it's like, okay, just simplify it. Just focus on a little win every day in that particular area. That could be prosperity, could be health, could be with parenting, meaning that your relationship with your kids. It could be with your relationship with your wife. It could be a connection that you have with yourself and your vision and your mission and that sort of thing. It could be how much fun that you're having. That's a big one for me. I'm like, this year I am having more fun. I am going to party. I'm going to party more.
Party like it's 1999.
Yeah, I'm like, I want.
Is that Prince?
Prince, yeah.
Prince.
I want.
Man,
yeah, I just want to
bringing back the oldies.
Fun. Yeah, I don't think people party enough anymore. Here's an interesting stat for dads. I thought this was interesting, and not that partying means you have to drink, but there's this study that went out, and they're saying that Gen Z, which is the most recent gen. Okay, like I don't think so. I think we're Gen X.
I'm working. I think there's a Gen Alpha. Which is the most recent.
It refers to people born roughly 1997 to 2012. So not the most recent, but I think the most recent that would be in this phase of their life,
right?
Of drinking. Okay. So there's Gen Z, and there's millennials, Gen X, and boomers. I think I'm Gen X.
Yeah, I think we're on the cusp of Gen X and millennials, I think.
Yeah. So this is so interesting. So Gen Z, the newer one, drinking age would be in probably university party age, at this time. Their alcohol consumption, so how much was made, this is an annual figure, but over the last 4 years, it's down to 3.1 billion of sales for Gen Z. And the average, it's all very similar between millennials, Gen X, and boomers. They're all at about 23 to 25 billion. Okay. Gen Z's at 3 billion.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. They're all at 23 billion. And Gen Z, the newest one, is at 3 billion. Like we're talking.
So hold on. When was Gen Z born?
Gen Z was born between 1997 and 2012.
See, because that could make a big difference there, right? If you're born in 2012, you're 13.
Right.
Right? So there'd be a lot less
people that are drinking.
As far as like legal age and drinking. So that's definitely going to play into it.
So 1997.
That would be now 28.
Okay. So 28. So it's a 15-year period of like demographic. It's a 15-year period. So between 28 and say, like, at what point did you start drinking, Scott?
Oh, I mean, I had my first. It was fun. Hey, it ended up being.
Potent hand right here. This is potent hand right here.
It's like, not though. It's
our
not.
generation started early.
It is, but it's not, right? I think I was 15, something like that, and it was called The Field, and it was out the back of a shopping mall, Sobeys shopping mall. I don't even know how we got there because when I think about it, it's a decent distance from our place. Probably walked. I can't even remember, but. I got 4 wine coolers. Remember back in the day, wine coolers?
Wine coolers. Dangerous.
Fire, and me and my buddy Jeff Sheen caught up with him, for our 30-year high school reunion, and he helped out a lot with that. It was awesome. So hopefully Jeff's listening, or I'll tag him in this one or something. But you remember that, Jeff? Both of us got 4 wine coolers. Cherry wine coolers or whatever it was. And but it was 15. But with that said, then it was probably 3 months till I drank again, right? Mm-hmm. So at that age, you might start drinking, but you're not drinking like I did in university, as an example, when it was legal and you could just go get it yourself. When those hurdles are there to getting it, you're definitely going to be drinking less, although you might start at an early age.
Yeah, I think the hurdles made it part of the fun, like trying to find a way,
what I'm saying is 100%, but what I'm saying is from a numbers perspective.
Yeah.
Like from a statistical perspective.
Yeah.
I think the hurdles would make it less.
Yeah.
You know what another thing's going on though?
What's that?
A lot more drugs.
Mm.
So I don't know the stats on drugs, but generally speaking, it's a lot easier for probably youths to get drugs than alcohol, because at least alcohol is through a legal avenue type of thing, whereas drugs are always sold like sleight of hand or what, you know what I mean? Like you got to drop into some guy's house and that's no matter what, unless you're in Canada and it's weed these days.
Yeah, legalized marijuana.
But I think it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, because there's other things going on. It's not just alcohol sales dropping. It's that age group. Like there's places. A lot of places are bars in particular are going out of business. And I'm not sure if it's the economic side or less people are going out and drinking, or it seems like things are moving in this direction where. And maybe it's partially too because, like the way people are doing social is different. You know, like I just don't think. I mean, where I am, I'm in a touristy place where people, it's warm, it's nice weather a lot, and so people like to get together and do stuff together. But in Toronto, it's miserable a lot. And I didn't find that people really had parties much. Like we had a lot of friends, but not many people had parties. You guys have many parties?
You know what I think a big part of it was? COVID.
I think COVID changed.
I think COVID changed shit, man. Big time.
Big time.
I don't do nearly as much as I did pre-COVID. I know I don't.
Yeah, I you know what? This comes up. Part of this networking group, and there's a woman on there, and she's like, it's unbelievable how few gatherings there are now compared to before COVID. She's so bored. And she's such a community person. She's one of those people that loves that, thrives on it, and it's not part of her life now. And I'm like, I want to flip the switch on this. 2026. I'm like, say yes. Like, and for some reason, my wife's on board with this too. It's like, let's go have fun. There's this new place that just opened up called in Centro, and it's an events place. So this is a pretty small touristy town, and it's kind of been sleeper town where there's not much going on at night. So people come here, and it's like awesome during the day. People are surfing and doing yoga and like loving the food. Monkeys walking around and the birds. It's amazing. As soon as the sun goes down, man, it's like Deadsville. There's not much going on. And so, but some more and more money's coming in here. The place is out doing amazing. And these people from the United States that know how to freaking do this type of thing put together this venue place, and they're bringing in bands and DJs and all kinds of stuff from the U.S., flying them down here to do these events. And it's people are coming out, and now we have a spot that we can go. And so I'm pumped. Shine just sent me this flyer, and it's salsa night on Wednesdays. And she's like, let's do this every week. I'm like, yes, cool. This is good. So like one of my goals is around relationship with my wife and consistently improving that. And part of that is spending time doing fun stuff together. And so it's just happening. It's just like universe, when you put stuff down that you want, you're putting a message, especially you got to write it down. And you write it down, and immediately, I believe, the universe starts to go to work in your favor. It's interesting because the world is abundant. It is so abundant. And I heard this once, and I thought, wow, what a way to think. It's thinking that the universe wants to give you everything you want. It's so abundant that it wants to give you everything that you want. What's required, though, is that you first have to ask for it. And a lot of you, so just think about that for a second, the power of that. And I truly believe this because this is how I believe I've lived my life. And so I've got time after time after time where I imagined something and I was like, man, that'd be amazing. And I wrote it down and then it happened. And it's like, and I had no idea how I would ever make that happen. A lot of them were pipe dreams. I really didn't, I couldn't imagine that my life could end. I truly believe that the universe conspires in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't seem that way, but there's always this like silver lining. There's just something there to help, like to move you, in the direction. And it doesn't always look the way you think it's going to look, but you keep that in your mind. I believe that you can achieve it, and the universe wants to give it to you.
I that sounds a little too esoteric for me. So I get what you're saying 100%, and I just look at it from a different perspective. But I think the end result can be very, very similar. I the way you were talking in my mind, and this is the way I honestly feel, and I'm sure some listeners would feel this way too. Is like that just sounds like a bunch of hairy fairy bullshit, because you're talking like the universe is a person. The universe is conspiring to create everything, and is but from my perspective, the idea is the same, is that you create everything, and it starts with awareness. So writing it down is you creating an awareness of what you want. And then not necessarily that the universe goes and makes it happen for you, but you go and make it happen for yourself. That's the way I look at it. But I do believe the results are similar. Because when you write something down, it's step one of a million steps taken. And then that's where, again, back, full circle, this whole New Year's resolution thing. I think too many people would write something down, but then not take any further steps. And I think that's where the failure happens. Awareness is a key step, but then you got to follow through.
Yeah, there's definitely a follow through part. There's something to this concept of like thoughts. Like thoughts are things. So obviously, like we know that everything is made up of energy, vibrating molecules, the whole universe, everything. When we break it down, right? And so when we think something, it's like an antenna, and the energy of that antenna connects with other energy out there. It's like similar form vibrations. So this is why like people gravitate towards, for example, certain people, like the energy, the vibration, and so on. Right? Even when you look at a book, like you're looking through books in bookstores, and the vibrational energy of the book or the painting or whatever it may be. And so, and I talk about this a lot with patients that I adjust with chiropractic, because it's similar, like when somebody has an improvement in the flow of their life force because of the adjustments and the flow of the energy through the nervous system and what have you, there's like this shift in the energy of the body, and the person even feels it. They're like, wow, like, holy smokes, I feel like amazing. What is that? And it's Tony Epstein speaks about this, where it's like, think of the human body like a guitar string, and you can get so wound up with stress and fear and all that, you can just like crank that end of that guitar string, and you pluck that string anywhere along the string, and it sounds different. And human body is the same, in the sense that you have this connection in your spinal cord, only up in your neck to the bones, and down in your sacrum is free to flow throughout the rest. And when those areas have a lot of tension on them, for example, changes the vibrational tone of our whole body. And this is why chiropractic is so powerful, is because we impact those areas and how the body's holding tension, and the vibrational energy of the entire body shifts. And all of a sudden, things start to look different. They start to think different, and those messages start going out to the world, differently. And it's not always like right in front of people, and they don't always see it right away. But this is what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm talking about when I say conspiring. I'm talking about that concept where when you put energy out, like you're saying, Scott, like you're acknowledging, you're putting an awareness into it, and that thought like goes out like an antenna message to the universe. And if we're awake and paying attention, connections are going to start to happen to that energy that was sent out. And we have to like seize that opportunity. And that's where you're talking like we need to take action on the steps. And it's not always going to be that the universe is throwing stuff in front of you to say yes to. Like there's times where you got to take initiative. But sometimes things just fall in your lap and you don't necessarily like, it's just, how did that happen? How did I just run into that person right there that has that resource for me and is offering it to me, for example? How does that happen? Is it too unfair? Is it too unfair? It's not fucking unfair. It happens all the fucking time. But most people,
you gotta. I think you need to move back or something. It's really bad right now.
Okay,
that's way better. Whatever you just did. Did you move back down from the mic?
No, just turn the gain down.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those things that are happening, and and it's just like it's too much of a coincidence that those things are right in front of us. And so that comes with that first step of writing it down and saying like, this is what I want. So New Year's resolutions to me is like giving me an opportunity to create my life and to be the driver's seat behind my life. That's truly what I believe.
And yeah, it doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution.
No.
Right? You don't have to do it once a year. By no stretch. At any point. But we're just talking about it now because it's close enough.
That's right.
So if you're out there and you're like either just never even had the awareness to think that a New Year's resolution was a thing, because that's what we're just talking about, awareness, or you thought about it and you're like, either like we just talked about it is cliche now, or you've tried it in the past, it didn't work, whatever the case might be. Go ahead, give it a go. So let's talk a little bit. Let's do a little future casting New Year's resolutions for Daddius.
Okay.
Right? Like not for ourselves, but for Daddius. Let's have a discussion. Maybe that's a good way to close out this episode and see how creating that awareness for this year, for what Daddius is going to look like in 2026, 2027.
Yeah, so I made goals for Daddius. Yep. I don't know if I should share those. Do you think I should share those?
Well, I don't know what they are.
I don't know. I better take a look. I better take a look. Yeah, let me just pull these up here. See, I put them in my chat with. I've got a group of men that we meet weekly, and the chat was blowing up during New Year's. All the guys were just. It was awesome. They were all posting what they were up to, what they were planning on achieving this year. And what a cool energy to be around.
Yeah.
It's just guys, they were just throwing it out. No one was like, okay, guys, we got to like commit to doing New Year's resolutions. And no, it was just, and everybody did it a little bit differently. And it was awesome. And I've been with these guys for like 3 or 4 years and just seen year over year these things that they've set goals on and achieve them, and all of their lives are getting better. It's amazing when you're intentional about your life, right? So yeah, and I can't find it. Damn it! Where do I have it? Okay, Scott, any thoughts about Daddius?
Scott, fill some time while I'm looking for this shit.
Yeah, damn. I wasn't ready for this.
Of course I've got some thoughts around it. We're not doing this for the 17 people that listen to it right now. We're doing this to get the word out, to hopefully the big vision is to help dads. And our big vision is 1 million dads worldwide. That's what we've always talked about. And so that's in the background. But just like we talked about earlier, that feels completely overwhelming right now. So we want to focus on the habits of what we want to do in order to make that vision occur eventually. And I think the biggest habit is being consistent with this podcast.
Yeah.
And making sure that we're doing it on a regular basis.
That's the goal, is Daddius podcast episode dropping weekly.
And I think a big part of that, one of our most popular ones, was the one interview we did. So working on having more guests.
Yeah, having more guests.
We could, talk specifics. I'd love to have 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That would be pretty awesome. I know we both have a big vision that hopefully towards the end of this year, we have our first Daddius Project retreat in Costa Rica.
Yep.
That's a huge one. But again,
huge,
overwhelming at this stage. But if we are consistent and grow things and get more and more subscribers, listeners over time, I would think by the end of the year, if we had 1,000 subscribers and had that many people listening, then we would have a subset of those people who would want to get together and create a better lives for themselves.
In Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica.
In Paradise.
I've never been. So that's a goal.
Correct. Yeah.
That's a huge goal. It's a
huge goal.
If you can call a resolution a goal.
Love those goals.
I guess so. Similar. So to me, it always will come back to habits. Like I want to be, from my own life, I want to improve on, I would say, probably every one of the P6.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's like you make your whole life better. When
That's
all
right.
those all six of those are better, your life is guaranteed better.
100%.
100%.
Even, the whole idea of 1% a day, and I don't love that, because in my mind, the first thing I go to is, well, if it's 1% every day, like, are you telling me I'm going to be 100% better in 3 months?
I guarantee that's how your brain goes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the pragmatic one of the group for sure.
I can't see that anybody would have noticed that, but anyway.
No, I don't think so. I think it had to be said, because I really wanted a particular thing for Christmas that I didn't get. I wanted a camouflage shirt. I just couldn't find it.
Good one. That's good.
So that'll be in the resolution, a camouflage shirt this year as well. Somebody out there who's listening or will listen in the future who owns a camo shirt, maybe with like the Daddius logo on it. Camo shirt, Daddius logo. That would be cool.
Yes. That would be cool. That's actually one of my goals. Let's just talk about my idea for Daddius. Is I'd really love to have a shirt and a hat and a mug.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah. I'm going to wear it all the time. I had a guy today. I don't know how he knew this. And he's like, you wrote a book, eh? And I said, yeah. And he's like, how do I get it? I'm like in Costa Rica at a basketball game. And I've played against this guy maybe 4 or 5 times. I don't know how he knows, but yeah, he's like, you wrote a book, right? Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's this guy in my men's leadership group, and he's a big time reader. And every single time we're on, we speak weekly, he brings up stuff from the book that he's implemented. Yeah, every freaking week. It's awesome.
That's so cool.
Awesome. He talks about it every week. How about something he's referencing and that he's using in his life and working on. And I'm just like, wow, okay. I always said from the beginning, if we can make difference in one dad's life, to me, that's worth it. And I know that's happening in more. It really, Scott and I, it took us a long time to get the book done.
What?
Like we're
No.
talking, I don't know, 7 years. It was like, I don't even want to look back. It's embarrassing how long it took. It's interesting because we wrote a lot of the content out of the gate. Like we had the content, pretty much all of the concepts done. And what we just had to do was refine the message so it's just really clear and succinct for the reader. And we weren't very good writers. So like we had to evolve and get good at that. And that took us time. And we got a lot of help doing that. And we put together this, it's a really good book. And when we finally finished it, which was last year, was a huge accomplishment for 2025, is publishing the book. Right?
That's right. I can't believe we didn't bring that up.
Huge. I know. And a huge accomplishment. But what happened is all those concepts that we talked about, we had just lived through 7 years of being dads with all of those concepts in our minds and using them in our lives. And I can say without a doubt, it has made an absolute profound impact on my life, my relationship with my kids, my wife, my relationship with play and having fun in my life, and just making sure that I really put energy into that. There's just so many lessons that came out of that book. So I would just say for 2026, get the book and start reading it and using it. It's a project, and it's a great project for 2026. So definitely grab the book, The Daddius Project, and it's going to add even more substance to what we're talking about here. But yeah, jump on this train. This is a good train to be on, and we're excited to have you on it. Share this with your dad buddies, and there it is.
There it is,
right there behind Scotty. Behind Scotty. Yeah, great episode.
Yeah. So I mean, big plug for the book, which is awesome. That would be a great New Year's resolution. Get the book, start the book. Just
get the book started.
Step one, buy the book. Go on Amazon, find it. It's easy. Very, very, very easy. There is a workbook that goes along with it that you can buy as well. Highly recommend doing that. But even if that's not what you do, pick one small thing, right? We talked about the most common ones are somewhere around health, fitness, lose weight, something like that. Remember, walk 10 minutes a day. Eat some healthy food first before you have your junk, but still have your junk. Things will change. But don't take baby steps, take baby steps, because it can be overwhelming, and getting started is the absolute key. Cool, man. All right. 2026. Do you know why?
Rocket.
Do you know why the jelly bean went to school? Wanted to be a smarty.
We're smarties.
Remember, they're still there, aren't they?
I mean, so bad.
Oh,
so bad
I don't. Mine were Reese's Pieces. Those were mine. I'm a peanut butter guy. The chocolate, sugar, peanut butter. Whoa. We actually, over the Christmas, you have a little indulgence. We got some Reese's peanut butter cup or Reese's whatever ice cream. Oh man, that's good stuff. I'm a peanut butter fan, man. Love it.
Yeah, it's good for inducing cavities too, I'm sure. Speaking about teeth, I saw this thing recently about wisdom teeth. So this is a new thing. Dentists have been pulling out wisdom teeth for a long time, and there's new research out that wisdom teeth contain stem cells that heal our heart, our nervous system, and the other thing is it was the heart and the nervous system, and there was another one.
Don't they make us more wise too?
Yeah. Just waiting for that one, eh? But yeah,
well, I'll tell you, three different dentists wanted to pull out my wisdom teeth, and I said, "Nah, not doing it."
Well,
I've got all mine still.
Yeah, like we're not pulling our kids' wisdom teeth.
No,
And I really believe there's no extra parts. You know, they were doing that to tonsils for the longest time, and then they're like, "Oops,
I did it again.
I took another one out, and there was a mistake." And, you know, it's like there's just no extra parts, and I think the
I'm
wisdom teeth.
sure there's a purpose for the appendix. I
Oh yeah,
I don't
there's
know if we
definitely.
know what it is. Now,
Oh yeah,
if
no,
it's
there's.
inflamed and bursts and shit, then
Yeah,
do
of course.
that stuff.
Yeah,
Don't die. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of that as well. The
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, just something to take note.
So
That
word to the wise.
we don't have to jump into taking out wisdom teeth necessarily. It's time to start looking into it as parents, to be like, you know, are we going to go about doing that, because it might not actually be necessary, and it could actually impede the healing, you know, in some way, if there really is indeed a connection there, and it seems like there is. And another thing I want to put out here before we stop, and this is a big one in our house, and I'm putting this out here because I said, you know, we were going to do some tips or just like random things. And I was going to come to the call. I was going to come to this podcast with 3 kind of like very random things that I saw that I thought were interesting, applicable to dads. And this one is actually cookware and non-stick cookware. So we all know Teflon is garbage, and that it's, you know, forever chemicals, and it's really bad for the body. And I would just say that unless you're using cast iron and stainless steel, I prefer cast iron myself, but cast iron or stainless steel, those two you can bet on and be like, I'm doing my family good. As soon as you get into these nonstick coatings, the ones that can scratch and come off, you know, it's not necessarily got the PFOAs, but there's other variations of nonstick chemicals that they use. And so they're just kind of getting around it with marketing. So I would just say, to caution as a dad, to not go with those special coating nonstick formulas that they say are safe. You know, they say a lot of things are freaking safe, and they're not safe.
Yeah, because before we knew about BPA in the plastic bottles,
Yeah,
they were safe. And then all of a sudden
safe.
they were BPA. Now we got BPA-free bottles, so they must be safe until we find the next thing. So there's no doubt that simple is better.
Yeah,
And
until
I
we
would
find out
agree.
that, yeah,
I love cast iron. Man,
cast
you know
iron
what?
is.
You know what it does? It does something. Like the more you cook on it, the more it like absorbs the
Yeah.
flavors and the like. It's
It
love
gets
it. Love
better.
an old cast
Oh,
iron pot.
I know
Yeah,
cast iron pot. But there's a couple ways though that to take care of cast iron pots. So it's not like other pots. And dads need to know that. They need to know, like, you don't just throw the cast iron pot into the sink and soak it, because it rusts. You got to wash the thing and dry it and season it. Put a little bit of oil on it and just rub it around. And a nicely seasoned cast iron pan, damn.
yeah. No, I
It's
find
like-
like the more you cook on it, the less that matters on the inside, but the outside rusts. But the inside's got all that
Totally.
awesome food in there.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Okay.
outside will still rust out. Anyway. Those are
No
my
idea
two-
how we got to
my
that.
new- well, I brought it up. This
Well,
was
I
one
know
of my
you brought it up.
God. Like, seriously, man. Where are you?
Oh,
Where you been?
you know what? You know what? One of the best things to cook, in cast iron is
What?
dinosaur.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but there's certain dinosaurs. You know, that got all these weird names. Do you know what you call a blind dinosaur? Do you think he saw us?
I thought you said they were all good.
Oh, look, you have that look on your face. That is exactly what a dad joke should do. The hand on the thing, you're laughing, but you're like, man, that's not funny, but I'm still laughing. That is exactly a perfect dad joke. And that is my 4, baby. I dropped all
nice
4.
to- So that
Now, I
means
never
that
really
me and
cooked.
you.
I never really cooked dinosaur in my cast iron pot, unfortunately. I lied.
Yeah. Well, we can say we both completed our commitments.
You got your 3 random ass shit in.
Random ass
And
shit.
right
Yeah.
at the end. And we're going to conclude today's episode. Oh, but by the way, wisdom teeth and cast iron pots.
Well, you brought in 2 of your 4 dad jokes in the end. Come on.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to, I was going to keep them
earlier.
I was going to keep them
earlier.
But you started going off on the random stuff. I had to keep people listening somehow. Okay, I think we're actually going to end it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And we'll keep you updated if I remember to update you next time that it looks like we're live on YouTube with my YouTube. So I'm going to try and hook it up to Daddius, and I'm not sure if we'll continue to do this live or just record and upload or whatever. I have no idea. We'll figure it out. 2026 adventure, baby.
Yeah, let's rock it. Have a good one, guys. Set goals. Go set goals now. Don't wait.
Write them down. If you've gotten this far, write it down in the comments. Let us know.
Let us know.
All right. See you next week.
Right.
That's another episode in the books, dads. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was Dadhood.
True story. For more tools to build your best dad life, grab our book, The Daddius Project, or join us at daddius.com.
And hey, if you learned one thing today, you're already winning. Even if that one thing was never trust a 3-year-old with glitter.
Words to live by. Now go forth and dad like a pro.